Let's look at the difference between being a mama's boy or is something more sinister going on. So when I say something more sinister, we're going to look at whether it possibly connects to childhood trauma or has a son been emotionally smothered by their mother. That can be quite different from using the friendly term, he's just a mama's boy. So the healthy way of looking at a mama's boy is it's a son who generally just has a loving, healthy connection with their mother. There's typically also a strong father figure who's present. There's a good balance in the dynamics between the two parents. There's a healthy yin and yang, which means he is aware of the strengths and potentials of his masculine side, but also in touch with his feminine side. There's a balance there. Being a mama's boy doesn't mean that he's been taken over in some unhealthy way by his mother. A red flag to be aware of is if you're rigid about comparing everything to how your mother does or did something, or treating you like you're the other woman in this triangled relationship. In his mind, he already has a wife. This could be unconsciously driven, but he's married to his mom in his mind. He's very loyal. He's not going to give up that loyalty. That's very different from being a mama's boy. This is more serious. It crosses over into emotional incest. Maybe as the girlfriend or the wife, you try to bring this up and talk about it, and he says, you're never going to understand. My mother and I have always had a special bond. He's not willing to let that go. Remember, he already has a wife in his mind, and you as the girlfriend or wife are not going to break that down very easily, probably not at all. Because after all, as you see, he's really never going to stand up to his mother. He may say he will, he may hem and haw about it, he may say to you, oh, I see your point, honey, but the proof is in the pudding. So you have to look at the behavior. If his mother always wins and the son always capitulates to the mother, then this has lost the realm of someone simply being a mama's boy. Behaving like this for an adult male son is related to childhood trauma. It's about being taken over when they were young, smothered by a parent. You can tell that this crosses over into how he lives his life in general. There's always this checking with the family, checking with the mother specifically. The mother is letting him know some limits, and you can tell he's honoring the limits even though he's in a relationship with you. You two have always wanted to go to Cape Cod for a vacation, but his mother has told him, no, don't go there. It's way too expensive. I think it's better if you just spend all of your time in Boston. And he honors his mother. Never mind what you as the girlfriend or wife want. So relying on or using the mother as an excuse, as a way to live his life. Nothing is ever really his fault. He's not taking responsibility for anything, really. It's very wishy-washy, sort of listening to you as the girlfriend or wife and sort of listening to his mother. It doesn't work that way. We have to choose when we enter into an adult relationship and get married and start a new life. Now our primary responsibility is with our new family, with our spouse. Everything else is secondary to that. A son who's just a mama's boy is going to have no problem honoring his new spouse. Again, he may have a special closeness with his mother, but that's not going to run his life per se. That's the big difference, is the mother running and still controlling the adult son. And one way to see that they're really still being controlled is that they have guilt about everything. Now, they may not readily admit the guilt. They may be out of touch with the guilt, not sure what's driving them. They just can't stand up to the mother. They've been manipulated from an early age. They live and breathe on some level through the mother, identify with the mother because the mother has emotionally taken them over from a young age. And so to individuate from that, to not be so parentified anymore, to healthily separate from that, means it's going to bring up guilt. Well, sure, in life we all have guilt about all kinds of things. It's a normal emotion. The question is whether we let it control us or not. So if somebody's being controlled by guilt, in this case from the mother, then we've left what's considered to be a healthy mama's boy relationship. This is about childhood trauma now. The identity of the son has been thwarted so much that this now adult son, let's say 35, 40, 50 years old, is still caving to guilt, caving to a feeling. A feeling is nothing more than a feeling. We don't want to give it that much power. Feelings can just pass through us. We can feel them and notice them, but they shouldn't have this type of control over us. And if it does, then that's a major red flag, and it's left the realm of simply being a mama's boy. And lastly, I'll just mention, if you notice that the mother acts like a jealous girlfriend from time to time. The mother has ownership over him and she shows it. Even though, let's say he's married now and is raising 4 kids with his wife, the mother's hands are in most everything. You can sense the jealousy. The mother's not the queen anymore, not the apple in her son's eye as much as she used to be, and she resents that. And she may intentionally try to make waves and cause havoc within the relationship between the two of you because she's jealous. She's making sure her son and you, as the girlfriend or wife, knows that you have to live by her rules. You can feel the energy. It's all about the mother, and the son is capitulating to her still. Again, we've left a healthy mama's boy relationship here and we're into emotional trauma. The son continues to be very dedicated to keeping his mother happy, satisfying her needs. This is a recipe for a very troubled marriage or dating relationship. So if you've been wondering about some of the differences between a son being a mama's boy or being emotionally taken over, I've named a few today. Of course, there's many more. If you're just starting to date a son who shows these signs, these are red flags, you need to pay attention. If you talk to him about this and there's an unwillingness to change, then you need to decide whether you want to stick around or not, because this will be your life. So please feel free to comment below, leave me some more examples if you'd like. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.